We are live just like that. I obviously didn't have the intro set up on this one. Ta-da! Um,
We
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 don't
are the intro.
have the intro. We're the support act. In fact, we are. We're the support act for all of the great performers that are going to be here in Vegas this week for the next 10 days or so. It's going to be pretty epic. How are things on your end, Sean? Are you excited about the tech?
Yeah, I'm so excited that I still have lots to do.
Yes, it was quite interesting. I kind of thought, because you learn every time from one of these experiences. I know last time there was a couple of cables we didn't quite have, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to make sure my checked luggage is filled with everything. So I brought extra cameras, I brought extra tripods, I brought extra cables, I brought extra computers, just to make sure we can give those people that are doing the virtual as good an experience, and the quality afterwards is great. What I didn't account for is I flew over with Virgin but changed it JFK. Now, normally when I've flown, you always kind of get this thing of, if you need to kind of collect your luggage and then recheck it with a different airline, they let
Right.
you know when you check in. Virgin didn't say anything to me about that, and so that was completely fine. So I've landed at JFK. I only had a very short window to get to the next flight to get to Vegas, because it was the last flight out of the night. But when I've got to baggage claim, there was just a niggly voice in my head, and I thought, you know what, I'll ask. Couldn't find anybody to ask, and it was like, if they wanted you to collect your baggage, they'd have said collect your baggage. So off I went through, went out, went through the doors that you can't return back from. Saw someone from Delta just as I'm about to get to the thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm on the Vegas flight, but I just want to double check. Did I need to collect my baggage from there in order to recheck it here with you? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, oh, well, why didn't anybody tell me that? And she went, oh, don't worry about it, but you're going to be late for your flight if you don't go now, because it was running tight. So she went, we'll just make sure it goes on the next available flight, and then when you get to Vegas, just do a chitty for your lost luggage sort of thing. And I'm like, that can't happen. Everything is in that bag. So I'm like, can I just go back through there and get it? And she went, absolutely not. You cannot go back through those doors. So I'm like, okay then. Walked around, snuck back round, wait for someone to come out the doors, and then thought, right, just make a dash for it, and then ran through those doors. At which point, the police kind of went, no, you can't come back through these doors. I didn't know why I thought I'd get away with it. But I explained the situation, made it look quite sad. And then eventually he's kind of gone, leave your stuff here, give me your passport. He's gone off, done some checks, come back through, and he's gone, go get your luggage. So, but managed to get my luggage. My flight was luckily delayed by 45 minutes. Oh. So it meant that I got the luggage and I got my flight.
Yeah, and even time to go to the bathroom.
Only just. It was a run to the actual to the boarding gate, and then once I got there, I thought, right, now I can go to the bathroom. But I needed the toilet when I got off the plane. So yeah, it was crazy. But I thought, I couldn't imagine getting here and then not having the cameras and everything else that was here. So that would be another call to Dan, probably.
Yep. And speaking of Dan and the rest of the team that's organizing, Richard's asking if we're meeting today. No, we're not. I don't believe there's a meeting that we have scheduled for today, right?
I don't think we need one. But yeah, it's boots on the ground really now. Yep. So it's nice. A couple of people have just started arriving now. I was talking to Tracy this morning, which is why we're a little bit late, because we were having breakfast, and you get caught up in a conversation, and it's like, oh yeah. When you message saying 10 minutes, I'm like, oh shit. So yeah. Yeah, I must give a big shout out to everyone, like Casey, Dan, Richard, yourself, everyone. It is a great team working together to make this happen.
Yeah, and as I've had lots of people ask about the schedule and is it going to change and all of that. Yeah, it's going to change. We've said that. It's fluid.
It's hats off to all the conference organizers that go through this. but I think especially when you're dealing with performers, because sometimes a gig will come in, like with Terry, he's got offered a cowboy role in a feature film, and he
Yep.
can't turn that down, and I wouldn't want him to turn that down. And so it does make it a bit fluid. So it's challenging, and so it's every day it can be updated. But I think tomorrow morning will be the final update, and so yeah, it remains fluid. So yeah.
Yeah. So if you're not attending in person, there's still lots of room for tickets online. Feel
Yeah.
free to pick up an online ticket. What that does give you is access to all the sessions that we stream, and of course all the videos afterwards.
Mm.
And it's still, in terms of actual knowledge,
Oh.
uh, for that small investment, you get a lot.
Not wanting to single anybody out because everyone is offering fantastic value, but especially for the online now on the schedule it shows room 1, room 2, and then the virtual room. When you get an online ticket, you get access to all of it, not just the virtual room, everything. But when you look at value, Tom Silver's kind of training on that halftime show, that's worth the ticket price alone, easily. You
Yep.
know, Jason O'Callaghan's talking about the wedding industry, which I know in the US it is a blue ocean. Nobody's doing anything with that at the moment.
Yep. And I would
Jason,
say the same thing in Canada.
yeah, exactly. Now, when Jason started in the wedding market, no one was doing it in Ireland. He's now doing like maybe 3 or 4 shows a week. I've known Jason do 2 or 3 shows a day in the wedding market. So he'll be sharing that knowledge. That in itself. And again, there's tons of Shawn Michael Andrews is delivering those stuff. Tom Silver. There's so much knowledge. Is unbelievable. So yeah. I'm excited for it. So it's a shame that I'll probably be with you sorting tech stuff out and running around everywhere. We get to miss it all.
Well, yeah, we get the replay.
Mm.
Actually, we get the replay before anybody else does, because of course we touch up all of those videos and make sure everything is recorded and all of that. So yeah, it's going to be busy, no doubt, but it's going to be good.
Yeah.
We've got
And again, it's a big shout out to Kevin Lapine as well, who did a very generous thing about donations to Jim's GoFundMe for his family. And I was just speaking to one of the participants in that donated a certain amount of money to that. So Kevin's not getting any money, PHS is not getting money. It's all going to Jim's family, but gets to kind of shadow Kevin on a series of shows and then do a skit on a Vegas show as well. So what a fantastic opportunity and experience. And so I know Tracy was so excited about that as well. I know there's at least another person that's doing that as well. So that is great stuff.
Yeah. So practical knowledge.
Yes.
A lot of theoretical knowledge, and I know I've talked to a few different people who are talking about some of the more theoretical things around running a business, especially the entertainment style business that we're in. Marketing, again, lots more practical knowledge. I'll be talking about mentorship, which reminds me, I still need to change the title of my talk. Right now it's listed as investing in yourself by investing in others. And really what it started out was as a joke between Jim and I after Hypnosis Hero, because he said, you're going to do a talk this year. You know how Jim is. He's very persuasive, right? I said, yeah, I'll do a talk called Producing Jim. So, and so my talk is actually going to be producing Jim, and in brackets producing Sean. So, and it's going to be about mentorship. It's going to be about those things that obviously we're going to miss them in Jim, but those qualities that you should be looking for in a mentor, and the reason as an industry why we need really good mentors. It's one thing to get training. You can get training from a lot of different people, but when you find a mentor, that's totally different, because you are going to ask a different style, a different class, a different type of question to of your mentor, as opposed to going back to your training organization and say, okay, I know you covered this once or twice, but how do I do this, right? And no, that your mentor
Yeah.
is going to be the one that kicks you in the butt with that information.
It's yeah, it's the difference between, I think training is when someone has knowledge impacts that onto somebody else. It's a one-way stream. It's here, I offload the things that I have learned
Yes.
to you.
Yeah. I'm downloading this to
Mentoring,
you.
yeah, mentoring's different. Mentoring's like it is a two-way stream. It's tweaking along the way. It's yeah, it's you know, it's when the storm comes, it's adjusting the sails accordingly and tweaking it to what is relevant.
Yeah.
One of the great things about this conference and a lot of conferences is it's not just the learning that you have on the day in the classroom, it's the collaborations that form and the relationships that form in the corridors at breakfast, all of them at the social elements, which is why we try and make a social element part of the schedule as well, because we could all go off and go see our shows at our own time, but if we all do it collectively, we have a shared experience, and then that's where collaborations happen. Mine and Jim's friendship happened from exactly that, meeting at a conference and starting to, we didn't consciously go, hey, let's work together. It was just, we would just bounce ideas off each other, and conferences like this enable that to happen. We can bounce ideas off each other, Sean, especially when it comes to, running live streams and the tech side of things.
Yep.
It's good to have someone to kind of share that. That's what happens at places like this. You form deeper relationships with people that not just help your career do better, but you can help their career do better as well. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, but yeah, it's exciting. I'll be more excited come Monday or Tuesday, I think. But it's there's so much going on, and there's so much change happening with the schedule and the speakers and everything like that. It is exciting stuff. But one thing for sure is there's some amazing speakers here.
Oh yeah, yeah, and again, if you missed out on the pre-conference or the post-conference sessions, again, you're missing out on a lot.
Yeah.
Scott McFall, John Strabone, there's a Sean Michael Andrews who's doing a post, right, and Richard Barker is right in. He's positioned right in between the end of PHS and the beginning of ICBCH. Like, those are people that have in-depth knowledge.
Yeah,
and they're ready to pass it on.
Yeah, the knowledge that's going to be here is spectacular. And let's not forget Sean, the captain, is here as well. Most of us, are doing stuff on Zoom now. Most of us have those tech issues as well. Sean's smashing it on TikTok. How is TikTok going, by the way, with the whole?
Well, it was a little slow there for about 12 hours.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with the platform. I think people are starting to notice some changes, and I know a few people would be looking now at it as something that is probably more censorable when it comes to expressing certain opinions. And so, yeah, it will be it will be a work in progress. But one of the things, and I will say this about TikTok just in general, in terms of being able to connect with certain groups of people, still one of the best tools out to get your message out. And the guy who's really actually going hard on TikTok right now, believe it or not, is Josh. He, his wife has just gone through surgery to get rid of some cancer and whatnot. He hasn't been working. He's now pumping out videos now that are so top notch in quality. We would call them faceless videos because he's not really appearing in them. But the other thing that he's done over the years, better than anybody that I've seen, is he has a whole library of content. So, on this day, so he's just repurposing all of that. He is somebody that if you get a chance to connect with him at a conference, absolutely please do, because he has the whole system down, where he can say, I'm doing this on this day, I need 10 people to sign up. Boom, he gets those 10 people, probably 20. Then he'll run the session twice, and just absolutely brilliant business plan. So
yeah, It's again, it's when we talk about the stuff that happens in the corridor. I remember I was at a conference. It might have been Heartlands. I can't remember which one it was now. Might have even been PHS last year. But I remember it was just a conversation in the corridor that I overheard someone talking about a tweak that you can do for your Facebook adverts, your paid for adverts. It was giving a better return on investment. As I walked past, I was kind of, oh, excuse me, you don't mind me interrupting. What was that again? And the person in question, who I can't remember who it was, so I do apologize for that, shared a little tidbit of information that has probably saved me thousands of dollars over the last 12 months. And
Yep.
it's a great bit of information. And you only get that from people that are in the trenches doing the work.
Exactly. And that's the kind of stuff. Like, yeah, you can get the big downloads, but those little bits and bytes that
Yeah.
plug the holes. It's one thing to make a boatload of money, but if the boat's sinking, that's a
Yeah.
problem. And those little bits and bytes are like those. You can patch the boat up and keep it floating.
Yes. Yeah. That's such a great analogy. That's brilliant. I like that. I'm going to steal
Yeah,
that, I think.
you can. I never say anything about stealing, but you can conveniently borrow it.
Exactly. Exactly. I like that. I think Brenda Kay described some of the stuff that I do the other day as weaponized incompetence. I love that. Literally, I was talking to my team back in the UK, and they're like, "We're going to get you that on a T-shirt, Grant." One of the things that I've learned again from mine and Jim's relationship is a lot of people are very structured, very organized, and all of that stuff. Me and Jim were never the most structured or organized, but we still managed to get stuff done because it was never just about me and Jim. It was always about the team. And so we've got some great people that are great at what they do. That's what makes PHS what it is. So, and you'll get to meet the team and make sure you give them lots of praise and lots of love and lots of coffee because they need it. And Earl Grey.
Yes, tea, Earl Grey.
Earl Grey.
Hot.
Cool. Sean, I'm so excited. I say this will be our last PHS update, but we will be going live from the conference here at the Gold Coast. And obviously, we will be live on Zoom. So do check out the website. There is plenty of online tickets available. And if you want to get an in-person one, you still can do, but it probably will mean that your name badge may be handwritten because we don't have the facilities to print those name badges right here. But that's completely okay.
Yep, it's all good. One way or another, we want to see you, and we want you to be able to participate, and in the learning, and as much as possible in the networking.
Oh yeah,
I just
it's
can't say enough about it.
yeah, it's weird. Like last year, there's people that pop in, who remain nameless because they don't want the name putting out there, but people pop in. And there's already, I know, two great people that are going to pop along for some stuff. And it's like, what a great opportunity. So, yeah, cool. Sean, I shall see you very soon.
Yep. And what is it? Today's what? Tuesday, Wednesday? Yeah, a sleep and a half.
A sleep and a half. Yeah, cool. I shall see you in a sleep and a half, Sean.
Alrighty.
Cheers.
Signing
Bye-bye.
off. We'll see you there.